Good evening, my friends, and welcome to the next episode of Syberia. Last time out, we made it into the Monastery, and we have been collecting various bits and pieces, but one thing we have not collected is the code for these candles. We are maybe going to end up a little bit stuck, so what we've got is we worked out what the machine right at the start of the monastery was. It's a candle maker. Now we've got a box of matches. Now there isn't a way to combine items in the inventory with each other, as far as I know, right? So I think the candle we want to put into a candle holder, and maybe we're going to use... somehow the matches on the candle. But, yeah, it's really unclear. It's really unclear what we're trying to do here. Yeah. Now, we also have this letter, which we looked at last time. Whoops. We have this letter that we looked at last time. Alexei was a man of God and my friend. He lived away from the monastery for many years among the strange Yukol people and their stories of the great mammoths of old that were divine to them. I am no wise monk, far from it, but I have prayed to God long enough to understand that he takes many different forms in the imaginations of men. This might help you. The key is in the light of the mammoth's eye. Now the other thing to think about is where the drops are here. So it's W-M-A-N-I-H-H-E. That's probably not anything though. The key is in the light of the mammoth's eye. Well, here's the mammoth. There's the mammoth's eye. Where's the light? Huh? Tell you what, Kate is not very well as well. She's had this horrible cough for a decent spell now. So the giant halberd, that can illuminate or deluminate these candles. It's a tricky one, right? So we've got 5 desks, 7 pillars in total. No, 8 pillars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, 6 desks, not 5. I just can't count. 6 desks, 8 pillars. That means 8 gaps between the pillars, but we've got 12 candles arranged somewhat in a clock face. So we could be looking for something formatted like a time. We can't access the menu whilst we're in this puzzle. So this puzzle can't have anything to do with any of our items. Like, I hate to say it, guys, but we might be asking for a second hint pretty early in this episode. The other hint, which is weird, it's not a hint, but it's an observation. The other observation I would make is that we've got this up ramp which gives us a different view of these candles, and the up ramp doesn't go anywhere, right? It stops here. So what do you get out of this? You know, what do you get? What is the visual clue that I'm missing here? Why does the up ramp exist at all? And that probably indicates that there's something there to do with the puzzle. I mean, all the candles and the candle stands, they all look pretty identical to me. You know, the little lamps on the desks just look like they're sort of doing their thing. So, that's a tricky one. I'm not really sure where we're going with that one, to be honest. Now, the monks... The monks don't say anything. I'm wondering, like, what else we can find that's interactable. I mean, it would be a bit of a stretch to fiddle around with the lock on that. Oh, hang on. That wasn't available before. Wait, was that available all this whole time? What on earth is that? I could have sworn we pixel hunted that and there wasn't anything particularly to interact with in this graveyard, but we can use the shears. That's Alexi, 1895 to 1996. Quo sanctus libri abscondo me scientia. Ooh, we'll take the herbs and brambles. There's no way to view the herbs and brambles that we currently have, but yeah, interesting. So do you reckon these herbs will be the herbs that heal him? Because they're growing straight out of the grave. Maybe he literally took the secrets of the Ukols to his grave.
Whiling away those celibate hours.
We need to find a way to make some tea. I mean, maybe I just missed that gravestone. Seems like a bit of a weird one to have missed. Okay. We need a kettle. Well, now that we've seen a gravestone, are there new dialogue options open to us? Not with Hans. Wait, hang on. Or was that just to talk to Hans again? That looked like a dialogue thing rather than an investigate option. Yeah, no, I think that's just Hans, isn't it? Oh, but what's this over here? What have we got? What have we got?
Cheese and dry bread. Yummy.
Yummy.
I need something else to activate it.
That's very generic, isn't it? Okay, it's not the brush. Not the brambles. What does she mean by I need something else to activate it? I need something else to activate it. I mean, I've got the... What, do we need a candlestick? Okay. It's weird that she's got nothing to say about this table.
I need something else to activate it.
I need something else to activate it. What you need is a candlestick. Okay, I wonder if we can find a candlestick or a candelabra somewhere? And then we bring it back to the table. We'll light a candle. Now, I have a feeling in the original Syberia, most of the places you visited were totally empty, wasn't it? But you could talk to everyone. I think I already said this maybe in the last episode, didn't I? I think I preferred the more empty environments. I think having a bunch of people milling about who are not able to be I mean, they're able to be spoken to, but not in any, like, useful way. Nah, definitely a key needed there. Doesn't really seem to be much over that. Oh, hang on, here we go.
This is really amazing work all the same.
It's not the mammoth. Not the candle. Use the brush. What? You're just gonna damage a priceless mural? By brushing it? Oh, Kate Walker. Oh, no. Oh, that's... Oh, I'm not sure about that.
Some kind of symbol.
Yeah, we know exactly what it is, but... What have you done, Kate Walker? This is getting worse and worse. Okay, well, hey, look, we found a code. Like, we're making progress. We're making progress. Someone asked me recently whether Rem was the hardest puzzle game I ever played. And hard, I find a very difficult concept to quantify like that, right? Because Rem, we managed to beat Rem with no hints, right? Which I am super pleased with, super proud of. But does that mean that actually, well, in that case, it was a little bit more straightforward then, right? But it's kind of like Syberia I find hard, but I find it hard because, like, sometimes it's like a dialogue option that you've missed that's preventing progress, or you didn't find an item on the screen that you were supposed to find. And does that make a puzzle hard? I don't know. Certainly we had to use more hints for Syberia 1 than usual. And we've already had to take a hint for Syberia 2. So, yeah, I don't know. Oh, there we go. So yeah, what does that mean in terms of whether a game is hard or not? I don't know. It's hard for me to really just quantify puzzle games in terms of their difficulty in that regard. Like, theoretically speaking, it would be, you know, theoretically speaking, you could put together a puzzle game that was full of monumentally unfair puzzles, would that make it hard, you know? What? Oh, it's another code, is it? So, the mammoth's eye, I would presume, is... Oh! Right, so we've put the mammoth over the thing. Now I'm really confused about what's happening. So, we've put the mammoth's eye into the thing. Is that supposed to have revealed something for us? I don't see it obviously if it has. So there's nothing we can do in there anymore. I mean, oh, hang on. Oh, well, now it's open again. Weird. I mean, there aren't that many combinations to this, right? Like, there's 6 for every starting point, so it's 6 times 4. There's only 24. There's only 24 possible combinations, so you could actually just rattle through all of them pretty quickly. Which we might do. Might we go and do that? We could probably do that. It wouldn't actually be terribly long. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's the 6 combinations with that one starting at 1. Okay, so let's start this one at 1 then. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that now closed it. Putting in the same code again hasn't done anything. So that was the code that we put in there. So let's try 2, 3, 4. No, fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that one. No. Then I'll put this one in the 4 position. So bottom, top, right. And top, bottom, right. Okay. So that's all of the ones which start with that one, all of the ones which start with that one. I'm still really sketchy about what we're even trying to achieve here. We've put the mammoth stained glass window in. I'm assuming we want it open, but we want it open like just a little bit, right? So let's put this one in position 1 then. So 1. And we'll put the top one in position 4. Okay, well now it's open again. Okay. Well, let's put... So we're keeping the top one in position 4. Now let's put the bottom one in position 4. And now we'll put the left-hand one in position 4. Okay, and that's those 6 combinations. So now we'll be taking the bottom one for position 1, right? So we'll start with the top one in position 4. Okay, let's try the left one then in position 4. No, okay, and then the right one in position 4. Hey, there we go. Right, it was the second to last combination that we tried. But look, we now have the eye of the mammoth. It was about getting the aperture focused correctly. What have we got? It's a button. And in here... Ooh, treasure. It's a journal. Okay. We've got Brother Alexei's book. A Yukol relic. Wow, so Brother Alexei just made himself a little hidden room. Okay, so let's crack this book open. The Yukol relic, I'm assuming, is certainly something that we're going to pop onto... I'm assuming the Yukol relic we're going to pop onto Hans' little table. Let's read the diary. Let's read the diary. Brother Alexei's book. Here we go. In a minute. Here we go. Alexei Tukhanov. Notes and sketches from the frozen north. April 15th, 1947. I loaded my bags and provisions onto a sled pulled by several sturdy, healthy beasts and left the Romansburg Monastery, heading northward in search of the mysterious peoples inhabiting the vast, desolate wastes of the Siberian tundra. My superiors had conferred on me the mission of evangelizing those pagan tribes from their heathen shamanic beliefs. I travelled under an assumed identity, that of a lowly trapper. I had to be wary of the agents of the state and of the military, for whom any religious activity is suspect. They, for their part, travelled the length and breadth of eastern Syberia trying to convince the villagers of the debatable benefits of collectivism. It took me several weeks to accustom myself to the unfamiliar harness. I found no dogs in Romansburg and had to make do with yukis purchased from a hunter. Oh, it wasn't a baby polar bear, it's a yuki. Maybe. The yuki is related to both seals and dogs. In the wild, the yuki lives on riverbanks. It is an easy capture for the trapper, as its gluttony is well documented. In winter, it gorges itself on orange salmon, a prey that it often has to share in the wild with the fierce Siberian bear, another creature very partial to the fish. Oh, they're so cute! Once tamed, the Yuki is an affectionate but whimsical animal. It resists all forms of disciplined training, and only if there are no dogs available, it is used to pull sleds. Certain Arctic peoples, however, seem to have better mastered the secret of their domestication, and the Yuki is central to their daily activities. Of all the peoples who inhabit these god-forsaken regions, I find the Yukols the most fascinating. Perhaps that is why I headed for these regions, where it was most likely to encounter them. Yukol religious mask representing the soul messenger who guides the dying to the outer world. The Yukols are fearful of him. The journey was long and dangerous. It wasn't until October 27th, 1947, that for the first time I made contact with the Yukols. I have spent long months living among them. I have come to know them and to understand them for who they are. I soon abandoned any notion of converting them. I applied myself instead to the study of their moves and customs. You hear Kate just sneezing in the background there. She needs to get herself a little decongestion. So little is known about the Yukols, less than is known of any inhabitant of the frozen north. Today they live far, far away at the furthermost tip of the Siberian tundra. Because of their remoteness and their inhospitable climate, the Yukols have remained small in number, overlooked by the scientific community and the Soviet governmental machine. The only documents available before my departure were several drawings, notes and photographs taken 100 years ago by a Russian explorer, Mary Bodrynov. It is to her we owe what little is of the Yukol people and its culture. The Yukols hark back to the last ice age. Curiously, traces of their presence have been found in Western Europe, more precisely in the heart of the French Alps in the prehistoric caves of Vallée de l'Ain. This suggests that over centuries they undertook a long migration towards the extreme north of the globe. The sacred harfang. This bird is often inseparable from the Yukol shaman. It seems to be considered in turns as his friend, representative, and even as his incarnation. Lemmings congregate on the open plains of Syberia. Now, if you want a classic, an absolutely classic retro game, Lemmings. Lemmings was, that was like an OG. That was like an OG game, that was. They feed on grains and small fruit that they store in their holes to face the scarcity of the winter months ahead. Lemmings dig deep tunnels in the ice to escape their predators. The hunters they most fear are harfangs, who seem to find lemmings something of a delicacy. On several occasions during my journey I encountered traces of Yukol society far to the west of the areas we know today. Along forest trails I discovered small piles of carefully piled stones, altars on which Yukol hunters made ritual offerings to one of their pagan gods. We now know the reason for the Yukol's long migration. Their domestic economy was, it seems, directly linked to the mammoths. They used the mammoths for both transport and as beasts of burden, for meat, skin, fat, and ivory. It is beyond doubt that we are dealing with a genuine case of symbiosis between man and animal. Mammoths were forced north by changing climate conditions, and the Yukols followed. I wonder what did the mammoths get out of it, right? If it's symbiotic, what are the mammoths getting? Some prehistoric cave drawings, identified as being of Yukol origin, have led the scientific community to conjecture that at one time the Yukols realized the incredible achievement of domesticating mammoths. They are, to our knowledge, the only prehistoric people to have represented a man astride a mammoth. Yukol life was thus intimately linked to that of their pachyderms. They used their hides for clothing and to build roofs, walls and houses. They used their tusks to construct the frameworks of their dwellings and for weapons, tools and jewellery. Curiously, the disappearance of the mammoth 12,000 years ago had no immediate impact on the Yukol's way of life. It seems that they were able to retain the strong link that tied them to mammoths throughout millennia. As incredible as it might seem, Yukols still feed on mammoth meat today, and use mammoth hide for clothing and to roof their dwellings. Their craftsmanship of mammoth ivory is altogether remarkable. It appears that the Yukols have managed to retain their ancestral habits by using over the years the many frozen mammoth bodies that are perfectly preserved in the frozen Siberian wastes. They are said to have lived off this enormous pantry for more than 30 centuries. To do this, they have hollowed out a vast network of caves in the frozen ground. According to the intrepid explorer Marie Budrynov, Yukol civilization has now gone underground. Specialists in the paleontology department of St. Petersburg have never credited Yukol myths and legends. However, the legend of the Siberian ice ark is typical of such folklore. It has long been considered a fable told by shaman in the evening to ward off the boredom of the long Siberian winter months. I think there is a continuity error here. Maybe a continuity error, maybe just a historical error. This is being written in the 40s, right? It's being written in 47. I don't think St. Petersburg was called St. Petersburg in 1947. I have a feeling it was called Leningrad, if I recall correctly. It was certainly called Petrograd at one point. Let me know in the comments below, was St. Petersburg called St. Petersburg in 1947? Might have been. I might be wrong. The legend tells that somewhere on a lost island to the north of the tundra, there still exist live mammoths, relics of the long-gone Ice Age, a tiny population that has been preserved for more than 12 centuries under Yukol care. The island the pachyderms inhabit is called Syberia. To my notes, I add the tale. It's just really strange that they call the island Syberia with a Y, and earlier on in this very document he's talked about Syberia with an I being a region of Russia. It just seems really weird that no one ever draws any kind of comparison there, that's a really weirdly coincidentally almost identical name. To my notes, I add the tale of this legend as Marie Budrynov related it in her memoirs. It agrees on all points with statements from Yukols I had the fortune to meet. Although this story constitutes no proof of the existence of the island of Syberia, it forms a tantalizing hypothesis. So that is bluegrass, scarlet bramble, Infernus rubus. That's the weed that we've just taken some clippings of. When fall arrives, the odour of its flowers is so strong that it's known to awaken hibernating yukai. Scarlet bramble mixed with walrus blubber or tallow. This scarlet bramble is frequently used in Yukol medicine. Well, tallow, candles are made of tallow, so boom, easy, right? I wonder if we need to put it directly into the candle. We make a scented candle. Maybe. The scarlet bramble is frequently used in Yukol medicine. The fumes released by burning it have considerable healing properties. The shamans recount that the plant only grows on the tomb of one whose soul is at peace. At the end of the last ice age, there were huge climate changes. Much of the land was flooded by water. This sudden environmental variation put the existence of a number of animal species in danger, including the mammoths that inhabited the lands of the Siberian North at the time. The Yukols, a particularly advanced people for the age, set about the construction of an enormous ark, like that of Noah, with the objective of preserving the mammoths, objects of religious devotion, from extinction. The enormous craft was entirely constructed of mammoth tusks and was loaded with a small herd of beasts and huge quantities of fur. The fate of the ship was entrusted to several particularly courageous members of the Yukol clan. Their mission was to lead the animals towards more welcoming climes. Once such lands were discovered, it was agreed that they would unload the animals and then come back to spread the tidings of their good fortune. It wasn't until 10 years later that the Ark returned to its starting place. The Yukols who had remained on the continent were surprised to find the ship empty, but for the perfectly preserved bodies of several mammoths in the ice that packed the bottom of the ship. They took this mysterious offering as a sign from the gods and ate the mammoths in a memorable feast. A week later, carried along by ocean currents, the Ark set sail again. Once more it returned 10 years later with more frozen mammoths on board. The phenomenon continued for millennia. Every 10 years the Ark would reappear, each time filled with immaculately preserved mammoths. The Yukols interpreted the phenomenon as an act of benevolence on the part of the souls of their congeners, who had died during the Ark's first journey in some infernal maritime cataclysm. They made a religion of the Ark with its own rites and customs that was marked by the periodic appearance of the phantom ship and its precious cargo. For centuries, nothing seemed to affect the Ark's mysterious roundabout. One day, however, the Ark returned earlier than expected and empty. This was 100 years ago. The poor Yukols fell into a deep despair. Everything they had believed in and had been the foundation of their culture since the dawn of time lost meaning. The most valiant tried hard to maintain hope, especially because the Ark still continued its peregrinations. That's a good one. Into the unknown, borne away on the seasonal ocean tides. But one morning the Ark refused to set sail. Many Yukols then left their village forever, trailing their despair across the tundra. Sometimes they can be encountered in the smoke-filled drinking holes of the last outposts of civilization. These poor sodden souls drown their befuddled minds in alcohol, recounting their unlikely mammoth tales to fellow alcoholics. When the explorer Bodrynov arrived among the Yukols, she noted the presence of what was once a ship. Only the Yukols could perceive the mythical craft of their legends beneath the layers of ice that had accumulated over centuries. She put forward the hypothesis that the accumulated ice had eventually doubled the volume of the Ark and rendered it incapable of negotiating the dangers posed by floating ice in the Arctic flow. I, Alexei Tukhainov, can confirm that the observations of this audacious adventurer are true. The Ark that leads to the Isle of Syberia is indeed real, and even if I have not found the formal proof, I am convinced of this isle's existence and that remnants of a mammoth population may still live there today. Okay. So, we know how to cure Hans. We know how to cure Hans. We need to go and sort him out a nice burning candle. Now, do we need to get these herbs and brambles infused into a candle? It won't let us create a new candle until we've used this one, right? Someone whispering ominously in my ear. So, gonna pop you right down here. Bonk! Pop you in there. Ah, no. Right. We need to get the herbs infused into the candle. It won't let us put the herbs on there. So we'll try this candle. It's not going to work.
I need something else to activate it.
Yeah, fine. So let's get out of here. Mate, magic herbs though. That sounds like just the ticket. You call magic. Let's do it. I do like a good reading episode occasionally. Yes. I feel like we're going to have made good progress this episode. Right, well everything's ready. I think we just need to pop that straight in there. Yeah, and then blip, squeeze out a candle. Herbal candle. Nice. There we go. This will be a breeze. This will be a breeze. Boom. Candle making. One of Kate Walker's lesser known skills. Okay, herbal candle, bonk, and matches, light it up. Oh, there we go. The power of the mammoth compels you. How you feeling, Hans? You look a lot better.
How's it going?
Kate, okay, yes. What am I doing here?
It's a long story.
You might want to keep some
Are
of
we
those
going
magic
yet?
herbs.
Can you walk?
I'd like to, but...
Don't move, Hans. I'm going to find a way to get us out of here.
Coffin sled.
How's it going?
Kate, okay, yeah. Are we...
Can you walk?
Okay.
I'd like to, but...
Don't move, Hans. I'm going to find a way to get us out of here.
Okay, right. Next puzzle. Come on, coffin sled. Let's do it. Like, this is blatantly the way out. Or maybe Kate's still holding out hope that the priest will be
Casket
like...
gives me the creeps.
Oh yeah, he's much better. You guys can go. He's not going to let Hans go. He'll be all like...
It's kind of steep. But with the sled, I could slide down the slope.
With the sled, she says, rather than
This
a
casket
sled.
gives me the creeps.
Well, we don't have a sled, so I don't know which the sled you're talking about. Except, of course, coffin sled. Go on, let's talk to the patriarch. Oh. What? We probably shouldn't go in there. But okay. Wow. Kate, you are overstepping your welcome by this point, definitely. But we got a key, so we'll check out the only keyhole in town. This one here. Uh-huh. So not much to be doing except just one rope to be pulling. Oh, let's not draw attention, eh? Oh. Okay. There we go. Coffin sled is ours. I don't know what... I have no idea what your overall plan is here, Kate. Like... Okay, well, he's not there anymore, so... Well...
It's kind of steep. But with the sled, I could slide down the slope.
That's true.
It's kind of steep.
But now we just got to get Hans. How are we going to get Hans if he can't walk, though? I mean, you know, unless Kate is going to, like, muscle bay it up and just fireman's lift Hans straight across the courtyard. Which, you know, I'm not saying Kate couldn't do it. Like, maybe she lifts. Like, I wouldn't be able to carry him.
Kate Walker?
Let's go.
Yes, Kate Walker. We must be quick.
Quick as you can, Hans. Oh, shoot, the Patriarch's coming this way. And the
Do not go!
Patriarch's
No!
just like...
You must stay!
Oh.
Stop them!
Why does he care? Handy.
That was some ride, huh, Hans?
Yes, it was real fun, Kate Walker. Really.
Alright. Well, my friends, that is going to bring us to the end of this episode. Why was the Patriarch that fussed about leaving the monastery? Like, you know, we weren't prisoners there. Like, if Hans wants to leave, then surely he can. I don't know. But he seemed like really put out. It gave like a real, oh, I'm angry about you guys escaping. That's going to wrap us up for this episode of Syberia 2. Next episode, presumably, we're going to be on the road again, taking our tiny train to our next destination. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Consider joining the channel as a member, and you get these episodes up to a week early. And I will see you next time. Have a great rest of your week. Bye for now.